So, did you know that the placenta is actually often referred to as the tree of life? It's this absolutely fantastic biological structure, and it's so much more than just a simple physical bridge between a mother and a fetus. It is literally an absolute powerhouse of nutrient exchange and hormone production. It's completely essential for a healthy pregnancy. Welcome to this explainer on fetal life support systems. Now, if you're an O-level biology student, you're going to want to listen up here because mastering the exact mechanics of the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the amniotic sac is absolutely crucial for your exams. Understanding how these systems interact, that's quite literally the difference between getting a passing grade and an excellent grade. All right, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The pregnancy support system. 2. Placenta, the bustling marketplace. 3. Umbilical cord, the two-way street. 4. Amniotic sac, the cushion. 5. Acing your biology exams. And finally, 6. Avoiding common misconceptions.
Let's dive right into part 1, the pregnancy support system.
Fetal survival in the womb is honestly a monumental biological challenge. Think about it. A developing fetus needs a constant supply of food, a highly efficient waste removal system, and a totally secure physical environment. These 3 central structures we're looking at today are nature's highly engineered solutions to those exact challenges: nourishment, waste processing, and protection. Let's look at exactly how this biological blueprint operates. Moving on to part 2, placenta, the bustling marketplace. Okay, I want you to think of the placenta like a super busy marketplace. It's a temporary organ that forms inside the uterus specifically for pregnancy. Notice this transparent cutaway view here. It's visually bridging the macro organ right down to the microcellular activity. See those tiny directional arrows moving back and forth? They explicitly show the exchange happening in real time. Nutrients and oxygen from the mother's blood are crossing over, while fetal waste products are being swapped right back for disposal. Plus, as you can see labeled over on the right, the placenta is also busy producing the specific hormones needed to maintain the whole pregnancy. Next up, part 3, umbilical cord, the two-way street. So, if the placenta is the marketplace, the umbilical cord is the highway connecting to it. Now pay really close attention to the color coding on these vectors, because this maps exactly to what you're going to need for your exam. See those 2 blue arrows pointing away from the fetus? Those represent the 2 umbilical arteries, and they're carrying deoxygenated blood and waste away to the placenta. Now, look at that single, thick red arrow pointing right back towards the fetus. That is the 1 umbilical vein, and it's delivering the payload: highly oxygenated blood and essential nutrients straight back to the growing baby. So remember, 2 blue arteries away, 1 red vein in. All right, part 4, amniotic sac, the cushion. We've covered the food, we've covered the highway. Now let's talk about physical protection. Notice the boundary markers outlining this fluid-filled sac surrounding the entire fetus. First off, it acts as a mechanical cushion. See those impact vectors physically bouncing off the outer boundary to absorb shocks? That's protection in action. Second, it prevents dehydration by keeping the fetus completely immersed. And third, check out that temperature scale, remaining perfectly level. The sac actually insulates the fetus, maintaining a highly stable internal temperature. Which brings us to part 5, acing your biology exams. Now that we've mapped out all the anatomy, let's apply it directly to a classic worked exam question using this conceptual flowchart. Okay, first, the question asks you to identify the organ facilitating the exchange. Step 1, boom, you write down placenta. Next, it says to name the structure connecting the fetus to this organ. Step 2, you write down umbilical cord. Finally, state 3 functions of the placenta. Step 3, you just list them out: exchanges nutrients, removes waste, and produces hormones. Mapping your answers chronologically just like this ensures you are never leaving easy points on the table. Let's move to part 6, avoiding common misconceptions. Even with the absolute best preparation, there are these sneaky little traps that consistently cost students points. And here is the biggest myth of all. The umbilical arteries carry oxygen to the fetus. It sounds so right to a lot of students, mostly because, well, in standard human anatomy, arteries usually do carry oxygen, but fetal circulation is uniquely engineered. Actually, scratch that myth entirely. Here is the absolute truth. It is the umbilical vein that carries the oxygenated blood. Remember that single, thick red vector pointing toward the fetus from earlier? Yeah, that's the vein delivering the oxygen payload while the 2 arteries are busy carrying the waste away. Please, whatever you do, do not get these mixed up on your test paper. Okay, here is our second major misconception. The myth: the amniotic sac is only a protective cushion.
Listen, if an exam asks for the functions of the sac and you only write down protects from mechanical shock, you are definitely going to lose points.
Let's clear that up right now. Yes, for sure, it is a mechanical cushion, but it also maintains temperature and prevents dehydration. You have to explicitly list hydration and temperature regulation right alongside shock protection to get full marks for the amniotic sac. The whole shebang.
All right, let's lock this all in with a quick-fire recap. We'll just check off each component one by one for final memory retention. First, the placenta, our bustling marketplace for nutrient exchange and hormone production. Check. Second, the umbilical cord, our biological two-way street with 2 waste-carrying arteries and 1 oxygen-carrying vein. Check. And finally, the amniotic sac, our built-in cushioning against shock, regulating temperature, and preventing dehydration. Check.
As you finalize your studying, just remember, clarity is totally key here, guys. Focus on the specific directional interactions of these amazing structures. If you can clearly differentiate the roles of the umbilical arteries from the umbilical vein, you are going to be in incredible shape. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Right now, without looking at your notes, can you sketch and confidently map out the entire fetal support system? Master that, and you won't just pass this exam, you are going to absolutely crush it. Until next time, keep exploring.